Hey everybody, welcome back to the shop. If you watched the last video, I mentioned that I was doing a giveaway for my past 500 subscribers. Didn't get to do that giveaway, and then now I've passed 1,000 subscribers, so I'm doing, I guess you say, a 2-in-1 giveaway. If you watched part 3 of the how to make a pipe with minimal tools, you saw a little pipe that I made in that video, and that's the style of pipe that I'm going to give away for the 2 giveaways. I've got some mulberry. I really like mulberry for a domestic species wood to use for a pipe, and it was a favorite of my friend that I lost about a year ago, Ed James. So this giveaway is partially in his memory and in honor of him. Everything I know about pipes I learned from Ed, and he was a great friend that unfortunately passed away in a tragic way, and I sure miss him. But if it wasn't for Ed, I would have never got into pipes to begin with. But I've got that stick of wood that I showed in the first video I did a few minutes ago. Got it cut up into sections, 3-inch sections. Got a tenon turned on each end of it, or on the end of each one of them. I'm sorry guys, I can't seem to talk right today. Got roughly in the round tenon on one end of each of them. 2 of them will be for the giveaway, and another one that I'm making will be for a friend of mine. And once again, I don't make pipes to sell, I'm just doing this for the giveaway. But I've got one of those chucked up on the lathe, and hopefully you can see that. Hopefully I'm in the frame. But what I'm going to do now is just make one of the pipes and video it. I won't be doing a lot of talking. I'm just going to reposition the camera to get a better view of what I'm doing, show what I'm doing, and make the pipe, and let you guys watch it if you want to. Okay guys, and I forgot to mention, sorry about the fan noise in the background. I got my air conditioner running and a fan. It's kind of hot in here today, so sorry about the background noise. First thing I'm going to do is finish getting this down into the round, and it's going to have a 3/4 chamber, and I like to keep about a 1/4-inch walls on a pipe, especially if it's not briar. If it's a domestic wood, I like to keep at least a 1/4-inch wall on it. So I'm going to take this down to 1 1/4 inch, get my diameter set, and then we'll go from there. Turning at about 2,000 RPM. And all I'm doing here is getting down close to my diameter. That's got me at 1 1/4 inch, which leaves me another 1/4 inch to finish shaping and smoothing it down. Sorry about reaching around the camera. using a bowl gouge here. Not the best tool for spindle work. When I sold my other lathe, I let some of my lathe chisels go with it. So I'm having to make do with some that I wouldn't ordinarily use until I get my others in. I've also got to get me a shorter tool rest. This is 14-inch tool rest that came with this Powermatic, and when you've got something small like this, it's just hard to get up there close enough, as close as you should be to your work. Just get some of this bulk removed here. That camera angle is working out okay. Really got to get a shorter tool rest. Hard to do this when you can't get up close to work. Hard to do a good job of it anyway. Okay, before I finish taking the diameter down on the outside, I'm going to drill my chamber. What I need to square the end of the, or the, what will be the top. Square that off too. Slow the lathe way down to about 500 or 600 for the drilling. We're at 450 right there. Using a Forstner bit to get the hole for the chamber started. These will have about a 1 inch, 3/4 by 1 inch chamber. Okay, change out to my 3/4 chamber bit. lined up with the excuse me, not running the dust collector because I'm doing the video, so dust is a little rough in here. Got it lined up with the top of the pipe, and I'll use the measurements on my quill to know when I have drilled to 1 inch. This is one of the spoon bits that I used to make and sell. That's 1 inch right there, just a little over. So using that spoon bit, we've got a nice a chamber with a nice rounded bottom to it. Hopefully that's showing up good enough in the camera. Alright. Now I'll mark my 1 inch. To locate the bottom of my chamber. Let me do it with this just to make positive that I'm at exactly the right spot. Probably blocking y'all's view by doing it that way. Not left-handed, but okay, right there's the bottom of my chamber. And I want 1/4 of an inch of wood between the bottom of the chamber and the top of my hole for the stem to come in. Just back around here. That's my indicator for where to drill my mortise or hole for the stem to come into the pipe. Alright, let me find a bit for drilling that and I'll be right back. Okay guys, if I didn't mention it in the other video, what I use for the mortise hole is a brad point bit. Hopefully you can see that. It's got a center point to it and then 2 sharp flutes, and that helps it not to follow the grain of the wood. It helps it to drill centered without wobbling. Another thing that I believe I forgot to mention in the other video, when you drill your mortise on a domestic straight grain wood, if it's a burl, it doesn't make any difference. And hopefully this is showing up okay. But when you drill your mortise, you don't want to drill with the grain. In other words, you don't want to drill in line with the grain, because it's weaker in this area, and pushing the stem in and out could cause it to crack much easier if you drill it with the grain as opposed to drilling it across the grain. So with a straight grain domestic wood, when you put your mortise in, drill across the grain rather than with the grain. And I've got this one set up where my cross grain is this way right here, and hopefully you can tell what I'm doing from the camera angle, I hope. Got to mark for my depth. So let me grab a piece of tape here. Not very organized today. Some days the brain works better than it does other days. But what I'm doing, I don't want to drill all the way through to the other side of the pipe, so I'm going to put tape on here as a guide so that I don't drill in too far. This is the mortise and the airway that runs underneath the pipe. Right about to the far side of the chamber. Got the mortise drill. So now I'll finish bringing the outside down to the finished diameter. Oh, and the reason I didn't bring it down to the final diameter before drilling the mortise, that way if I had any splintering from drilling the mortise, then when I bring it down to final diameter, you have a chance to get all of that out. So you can see this first line indicates the bottom of my chamber, and then 1/4 of an inch space between the bottom of the chamber and the top of my mortise. So we'll finish bringing that down to, if I can get this around here without hitting the tripod. I got to try to get me a camera boom made to do this video taping. And so I can get a straight nice straight side on this. I'm just going to use a square scraper to bring it down a little bit more. that nice and straight. That's got me at about 1/4 of an inch wall thickness. Well, you won't be able to see that from the angle the camera's at. That's about 1/4 of an inch. And now just got to do a little sanding and then we'll be ready to part this off. Actually, let's go ahead and mark where we're going to have the bottom of the pipe. Be about 1/4 of an inch below that mortise, below the bottom of the mortise. It's going to put us right at about 1 7/8 inches for the overall height of the pipe. Really wouldn't have to leave hardly that much underneath the mortise, but we will. And I'm going to use a parting tool here. Go ahead and lay out where that's going to be parted off. Now we'll do a little sanding on it. If I can get this out of the way. Sorry about that. Okay. Start with about 150. It won't take much. Turn our speed down about 400. I typically like to taper my rim in toward the bowl a little bit. Just the way I like my pipes. When you're putting your tobacco on the top of the pipe to pack it, it just helps, kind of like works like a funnel to help funnel the tobacco into it. I'm gonna get this chamber here, but not with my finger, and get it tore off. Use a pencil to support the sandpaper. You can use a dowel or whatever will fit in there to hold the sandpaper for that. That lets you see what it's looking like. Won't make you watch the rest of the sanding. One of the most boring things in the world is watch somebody sand, and it's no fun to do. But just get a little alcohol and spray on that to make the grain pop. There we go. So that's kind of what the pipe will look like here in a little bit. Hopefully you can see the grain in that okay. But I'll finish the sanding, and then I'll come back when I'm ready to get it buffed up and finished up. Okay guys, I've sanded up through 400. I'm just going to finish up with a little 600 here, and then we'll put some wax on it and buff it off. Dust off of it. Looks pretty good. And rather than breaking out my buffing system, I'm just going to buff it on the lathe. Wax and buff it. This is carnauba wax, by the way. Just take a paper towel, buff that wax in. Speed up a little bit more. It's running 2,000 RPM. You can see that in the camera okay. Camera's a little bit to the side of it. That looks pretty good. It's top waxed and buffed. Only one more thing left to do to it after we get it parted off, and that will be to drill our two drop holes in the bottom there. Let's get her parted off and we'll take care of that. Use a saw for the rest of that, just to make sure that it doesn't doesn't break off. There we go. Part it off. Okay guys, I started to sand the bottom of this by hand, or with a power sander rather, and I thought I would share another little tip. In order to be sure that this bottom stays squared with the pipe, it really needs to be done on the lathe. And the way that you can chuck that back up without damaging anything is to make yourself a little tenon on your scrap piece that you had left, and turn it down to where it's just a good snug fit on the inside of the pipe. Push it up on there, and then you can sand the bottom of that. Get that real quick. You can sand the bottom of that, and it will keep it square so it doesn't get cock-sided. That way you don't have to put the pipe itself back in the chuck and damage the pretty finish you've already got on it. Another great thing about these pipes with the flat bottom is that they'll set up on their own, so you can, if you smoking your pipe and you need to set it down for a minute, you don't have to worry about it falling over. Poker style pipe, I guess you could say. Sanded. Hit it with a little wax. Just have one thing left to do, and that's drilling our draft hose. That's just a quick way to put your pipe back on the lathe without having to clamp it in the chuck. And there we have the bottom finished up. Now we'll drill our two draft hoses. I believe 3/32 is the size I use for these. If you like it a little bit bigger, you can open these up. I'll try my best to show this in the video while I'm doing it. Not sure how well I'm going to be able to do that, but I've got two places for where the hose will be drilled. Here's the mortise. One of them is in the center. The other one is on the front side of the chamber. So go with the middle one first. drill bit appears to be wore out. There we go. Just till we hit the hole of the mortise. So that one's right in the center. Hopefully you can see. And now we'll get the one that's on the front. A little bit harder to start it because it's on that rounded bottom. Get my flashlight and shine in the mortise hole. Maybe that'll make those show up better. Yeah. There we go. Hopefully that's showing up okay in the camera. But there's our 2 draft holes drilled. And there is our finished pipe, minus the stem. And this one will be going to Quinlan. Alright, thanks for watching, guys. I'll make the other 2. They'll be just like this one for the giveaway. And I showed in the part 3 of the pipe making with bare minimum tools how you can easily make whittle you out a stem. Or I talked about it, I didn't show it. So the ones for the giveaway will be minus a stem. So thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the video, and we'll catch you on the next one. Thought I'd come back on real quick and show this, guys. Decided to go ahead and make a little simple stem for this one. It's going to my friend. Just to show you kind of the style of what you could do for a stem. The ones on the giveaway won't include a stem because I've only got 1 or 2 stem blanks and used this one on this one. So, but it's basically and I couldn't think of this word in the tutorial video, but basically a military style tenon on it. It's just turned to 5/16 and just to push fit in there. But and I didn't, well, let me show you how I did the stem. I turned this end of the stem, the tenon end of the stem, down to 5/16 on my metal lathe. Then drilled a 5/16 hole in that blank there, the same one I used for chucking the bowl back up. Stuck the tenon in there and then used this cone center and get it knocked back off here to show you. Use this cone center on the tailstock end, and that keeps the opposite end of it centered. And I just blended from the tenon, just blended out into the stem. And to be honest with you, I didn't go to a whole lot of trouble on the stem, but I don't know, it looked pretty good, not too bad, other than my fingerprints all over it. But anyhow, there's what the little pipe looks like with a stem made for it. Alright, thanks again for watching, guys. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, leave me a like and most importantly a comment down below. And if you aren't already subscribed, I'd appreciate it if you subscribe to the channel. That way you'll be notified of upcoming videos. So thanks again for watching, guys.